On your AV pod, there should be a red camera and a red microphone. If you click those and make them green, I hope to be able to see you. There we go.
All right. Can you see me now?
Hello, Elvis.
You was talking to me and I'm saying, I can't. I don't know how.
It's all new, and I know most people are using Zoom. We use this technology so that the videos can be marked with questions and a little bit easier. So okay. I know it's a lot for you guys to keep doing these things and have different formats. So I appreciate you being flexible.
Not a problem, not a problem, not a problem.
Okay, so I'm Melissa Erickson. I'm the Executive Director of the Alliance for Public Schools, and I'm here today with Elvis Piggott, who is running for Hillsborough County School Board District 5. I've previously explained the format, but I'm going to say again that there's a 20-minute time limit on the total conversation once I ask the first question, but there's no individual time limits with a question. So if there's something that you really feel passionate about and you want to make sure that you talk about that for a long period of time, you can do that. We just are limiting every candidate to 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. You'll see the question come up on the screen so that you can, make sure that you clarify it, and then you get to answer it. If there's any time left at the end, you will be able to speak about anything that you haven't yet if we get through all 7. But again, some people have gotten through all 7, some haven't. You talk about what you want. It's 20 minutes to use to get your information out to the voters. Do you have any questions on the format?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Okay. I also like to say, I like to be fully transparent for the organization that I have met Pastor Piggott. I have met him during the superintendent search. Both he and I attended the superintendent search in Hillsborough County. So I am previously acquainted with him, and I just like to put that out there so that I don't believe that I'm going to show any bias, but people know where I'm coming from in interest of full transparency. Okay, so the first question is, gotta get up so I can publish it. So the first question, so we at the Alliance for Public Schools, we were started because we think that sometimes the good news doesn't get out. And so we think there's a lot of good that happens in public schools, and we would like you to tell us what you love about public schools.
One thing that I love about public schools, well, there's many, but one thing that I really love about public school is that public school gives you the opportunity to understand and to have a different I would say mixture of everything. When I went to public school, it was just good. You have your relationship. Public school gives you so many things whether it's with your peers, the teachers that is brought into public schools. You have people that is dedicated there, that is really there in public schools because they want to. And I always try to bring that in perspective to say, we talk about teacher pay now, but we have to remember that the teachers have been making pennies on the dollar for quite a while, but they yet came to school and did what they loved. They yet came there and they took out the time with little guys like me to make sure that we was able to have what we like. Public school is really a hub to really get so many different things in life, different tutorials of just how to live life. And you get so much around that being among public schools and having that opportunity to be there. It's just a lot. Public school really is just a good place if the school is serving right.
Okay. The next question is, what are the attributes of an effective school board member? Which attributes are your strengths and which do you struggle with?
I will say that the attributes of an effective board member is one, a board member that knows how to communicate, a board member that is reachable, a board member that is very hands-on with their community. I will say that my strongest attribute of a board member, when we do know that the board member's job is policy and procedures, I want to talk about the character and integrity of a board member, because my biggest strength, I will say, is understanding people, learning people, talking to people, making sure that I can convey to people what is being said and being an advocate for people. That's my strength, advocating and having the uncomfortable conversation. My weakness, or I would say my struggle, is being able to tolerate the shenanigans that goes on the board. And when I say that, meaning to have patience through the process. My strength is to advocate, but I have a weakness for zero tolerance, the foolishness. It's hard for me. It will be hard for me, and I'm going to, of course, uh, contain myself, but it's hard when you constantly see people doing things that is not in the most uh, efficient manner for students, for teachers, and for administrating and for our schools. So I think that's going to be my biggest thing without saying, oh, okay, let's talk about what the teachers are saying. Let's talk about what the students are saying. Let's talk about what the community is saying. Let's stick to that.
Okay, so the next question is, what role does family and community engagement play in public schools?
Oh man, family and community engagement plays a huge role. I am fortunate to be on the SAC committee on 2 schools. SAC committee, where you have that entangled with the community, parents, as well as the administrators. Community partnership is necessary. My church has adopted 2 schools. It's very important because the reality is that there's a lot of things that our schools may need, our students may need, that the district or the budget cannot supply. It takes an innovative leader to know how to pull community in and contribute to some of the things that our students and our teachers need. So, Great American Teach-In, Teachers Appreciation Week, all of these things, when you have good, strong community partnership, those weeks become amazing because they are geared and triggered towards making sure that we give the best experience to the students, FSA testing time that they can possibly have without the funding that the school don't have. The next part was that about family engagement. We have to do better in engaging our parents in school. We have to do better. You can't get around it. The same way we engage them to get out and vote, we knock on doors, we call and do robocalls, we have town hall meetings, we try to do everything possible to get their vote. I think that when I become the board member, I can promise that I will be doing the same campaign on the grounds for parent involvement in our lowest schools that need parents to show up. I want to knock on doors. I want to send robocalls. I want to send mailers and say, hey, we need you at your kid's school because with your involvement, it makes our job easier.
Next question is, if you are elected to serve this term on the school board, how do schools, the district, and the community look different in 4 years?
Serve this term, how do schools? Well, I can say one thing that I can say schools, the district, and the community would look different because one thing, transparency is necessary. I think it looks different because what the schools will have is the schools will have transparency. Perfect example, I'm going to use this as an example because I'm pretty furious about it. I'm pretty furious about the teachers receiving a letter of intent from our new superintendent, and that letter of intent gave them 3 options. That letter of intent gave them to either take a leave of absence without pay. That letter gave them to either take or to resign or to return to the brick and mortar building. I think that is disrespectful. I think that that is completely inappropriate. And I think our district is going to look better because we're going to be more transparent and we're going to honor people better because it's about treating people right. When we say, how can we get teachers to stay in our district? How can we retain the best teachers? Treat people right. That's important. Not overlooking people, not walking over people. Treat people right. So that's that's a key thing. While I love our superintendent and think that he's going to be good with certain areas, I do think you need someone to hold him in accountability in certain areas when it comes to our teachers and our staff. Also, I think that our community is going to look different because we're going to have community involvement like never before. Because I am pastoring. I've been pastoring 14 years. I'm going to be in the community like I've always have, and let the community know how important and how vital they are, because we need you. Our schools is going to look different because I'm going to be at our schools, listening to those administrators and those teachers, listening to those students to find out how we can make a better learning environment for all of our teachers, all of our staff, and make sure that we can do what we can to make sure that we have a safe learning environment for our teachers and students.
Next is, what kind of school board member will you be if elected?
A school board member that takes pride in accountability. A school board member that will be very transparent. A school board member that will advocate, that will have an open door policy, that will be always on the ground in the communities, that will be in our schools. I will be a listening board member. I will be a board member not just to listen, but also to take what I heard back to the dais and make sure that the other board members hear how the constituents of the district which I represent feel. I want to let them know how the teachers where I represent feel. I will be that board member that will constantly make sure that my voice only echo what the teacher, staff, and our students are saying, because nothing else matters. We are on the board to represent not our own agenda, not our own interests, but making sure that our schools is running efficiently and effectively. That is what benefits to make sure that our kids get the best learning experience that they can while in public school.
So what are the responsibilities of the school board and individual school board members related to public education advocacy?
I believe the responsibility of the school board and individual board members is to advocate. I think, if I'm reading that right, members related to public education advocacy.
Yes.
I think the responsibility is huge. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility beyond sitting on the desk and making policies and making sure that we have our policy procedures and doing the budget. It's more than making sure that our superintendent we hire and fire. We need to be advocating because we need funding from Tallahassee. I was very bamboozled, believing that, oh, this is all you do. Well, if that's all you do by what you see in black and white, well, I'm sorry, because there's always more we can do. I was very also disturbed today to see that right at Strawberry Crest, that the governor was here, that they had an educational meeting right there at Strawberry Crest, and all of our board members wasn't there. Our board members should have been there saying, listen, at the end of the day, we have to, I constantly listened to them talk about students and how we want to make sure parents have options. But I wanted to hear, as a board member, if I was the elected official, I would have been down there and say, listen, when we keep saying parents need options, don't forget that our teachers are parents. Our teachers too need options. You can't say parents need options and teachers have none, because it don't go together. Because our teachers have sacrificed their life so to it look like they don't have families. But we need to make sure we're advocating for tax dollars. We need to be advocating for more funding from Tallahassee to fund public education and stop constantly sucking the money out of public education and pushing it over to privatized schools.
What does constituent outreach and constituent services look like under you as a school board member?
Constituent outreach and constituent service is getting on the ground. It means constantly finding out. I'm reaching out to the constituents saying, how can I serve you better? What are some things that you would like me to advocate about? Checking in often, saying, hey, my question is everything okay? Making sure, whether it's with the leaders of the school, having those, I got 69 schools in my district. And in those 69 schools, I'm going to make sure that I have a quarterly meeting with my 69 principals. I want to make sure that they are understanding, how do you feel? I want to know with the constituents and the service. It looks like whatever I can find my hands to do, I'm going to do it. We have to remember, as an elected official, that we are at the mercy and we serve at the pleasure of the constituents. That's just the reality. You serve at the pleasure of the constituents, and you're at their mercy. And we can never forget that. We have to keep that on the forefront of our mind, and we need to make sure that every day our service is to those constituents.
Okay, you have about just over 3 minutes left. If there's anything that you wanted to say that you didn't have time for.
I'm grateful to be able to have this opportunity to speak with you all concerning my platform and where I stand. I most definitely am very passionate about our kids. I always said this, and for the last 6 years, I've had this this slogan that we use: celebrating our glorious past, but embracing our promising future. I believe with a certainty that we have to focus and we have to make sure that we are no longer building walls, but we are now building bridge, tearing down walls and building bridges. We have to leave this district and this world in a better place than we found it. We got to do better. I'm Elvis Piggott, local pastor for 14 years. I'm on about 31 emergency cards within this district. I'm not new to this. I am true to this. I want to most definitely advocate. I want to be the voice that we deserve. I ask for your support. I ask for your prayers. I ask for you to go to our website. That's www.voteelvis4schoolboard.com. And please look at our website. Look at some things that we're going to offer and some things that we're going to bring to the table. I want you to know this is who I am, and that will be who I be on the dais, and understanding that I believe that I'm only who I am today is because of God himself, and that's why I'm pastor. And when I become a board member, the only reason I'll sit on that dais is because constituents believed in me enough and teachers to fight and do what's right. And I ask for your support. Thank you. I'm Elvis for School Board, District 5.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you participated. We're holding all of the videos until we do all of the interviews. So the goal is to have them posted on Monday. As soon as I post all of the videos, because we're doing both Hillsborough and Pinellas, because we work in both districts.
Okay.
So as soon as I post the videos, I will send you a link if you choose to, promote it and whatever, because, hopefully you've gotten a chance to have a little more full answers to questions